Okay, so how do we take this chart and the Father Charles and Battlelands and use them to write a major scale? Well, first, let's try the key of A major. So the key of A major, if we look on our chart here, has 3 sharps. And what are those sharps going to be? Well, let's look back on the first page, and we'll remember the order of sharps is Father Charles. So if the A major has 3 sharps, we take the first 3 sharps of Father Charles: F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Great. So if A major has an F sharp, a C sharp, and a G sharp, that means the notes in the scale of A major are A, B, not C, but C sharp, D, E, then F sharp, then G sharp, and back to A. And just to double check, make sure we have 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we do. Okay. Now let's take these notes and write them in a scale. There's 2 ways to write a scale, and one way is to use accidentals, and the other way is to use key signature. So let's start with the accidentals, because that's the most straightforward. I'm just going to enlarge that so I can write clearer. So first of all, let's try with in the treble clef. And oops, let's look at our chart here, our notes here, and we're going to just write each of these notes in the scale. So we start with A, then B, then C sharp, then D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and we end with an A. Now I like to draw a bar line and then do it descending as well. So A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, and A, and always end with a double bar line when you're writing a scale. Now, one more thing we wanted to put into our scale is to mark the semitones, and that helps us double check to make sure that we have enough notes in our scale, because sometimes we can miss one if we're not careful. So we know that between the first 2 notes, do and re, we have a whole tone, then another whole tone, then we have a semitone between mi and fa. Then we have 3 whole tones in a row, 1, 2, and 3. So the last 2 notes are semitone. And we do that descending. Semitone, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone. Semitone, whole tone, whole tone. Good. Looks like our scale is complete. Now, if you take a look at all these sharps that we wrote, if a composer wrote a piece in A major, that would be a lot of sharps he'd have to write all over the place. So the easier way to do it is to write those sharps in the key signature so that they represent those notes throughout the music. So we're going to take the F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp and write them here instead. So that means that any note. So now we have the F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp represented here, and we don't have to write them in the music because we just assume that they're there. So notice I don't have to write any accidentals in the music here, in the scale. Very easy. And lastly, we're going to do our semitones again, so that's whole tone, semitone, whole tone, semitone. And backwards, semitone, whole tone, whole tone, semitone, whole tone. Good. Alright, let's try this again for the key of A flat major. So let's look up at our chart again and find out how many flats A flat major has. So A flat major, according to the chart, has 4 flats. And we're going to look back at the other page to remember what the order of flats is. So the order of flats is battle ends and down goes Charles' father. So we need to take, since we need 4 flats for A flat major, we will take the first 4, which are B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. So that means the notes in this key of A flat major are A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, and A flat. Now you want to notice that even though there's only 4 flats in the scale, it looks like there's 5 flats because the A flat is repeated at the beginning and the end. So be careful of that when you're checking and counting. Okay, so let's take these notes, and using accidentals we will write our A flat major scale, and this time we'll use the bass clef. So we start with A flat, then B flat, then C, D flat, E flat, F, G, and end with another A flat. And again we'll draw our bar line, and then we'll write it descending. A flat, G, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, and A flat. And remember to end with a double bar line and to mark the semitones. So here we have a whole tone, semitone, whole tone, semitone. And backwards, semitone, whole tone, semitone, whole tone. So our scale looks complete. Now let's do it again, this time using the key signature instead of writing out all those flats. So again in the bass clef, and this time we're going to write our flats right here in the key signature. Battle ends and down. So there's our 4 flats, and all we have to do is write in the notes without any accidentals. Bar line and descending. Nice and quick and easy. And again, remember to mark your semitones. Whole tone, semitone, whole tone, semitone. Perfect. So I hope those steps were pretty straightforward and simple. Try to break it down into the easiest steps possible. So if you follow all these steps carefully, then all your written scales hopefully will turn out perfect.